we're very happy that at this particular air show here, AirVenture 2009, our very good friends at Aviators Hotline, aviatorshotline.com, are supporting us in the mall and helping us produce this video today. You can find all kinds of airplanes for sale and information at aviatorshotline.com.
This is another all-metal airplane here.
Another all-metal airplane, this one from the Czech Republic. And this one has the distinction, the SportStar brand or model has the distinction of being the very first to win Special Light Sport Aircraft approval back on April 7th, 2005.
Has the aircraft been on the market then for a while?
This one has been, well, it's actually been on the market quite a bit longer than that, Dave. It's been in Europe flying for a long time as an ultralight over there. Now they were able to bring it in at a slightly higher weight, which it always qualified for, the factory says, in the south of the Czech Republic. And they have now evolved this airplane very nicely for the U.S. market. First came over as the one that they sold in Europe, and then they widened the cockpit. If you look down here, you can see it's got a curvature to it that made a little more elbow room in it for larger occupants. And they've gone through several iterations. Right here you can see this one's called the SportStar Plus. The newest model they've got out now is the SportStar Max. And that one has some very interesting, although somewhat subtle changes. If you look here, you see that this has a rubber gasket and kind of a big blocky canopy hinge on it. That's all nice and smooth now on the SportStar Max. And then back here in the aft of the fuselage, where they widened it to accommodate a little more room for all the occupants, it kind of tapered a little bit abruptly. Still flies beautifully, but the new ones have taken care of that and really smoothed it out nicely. I don't think the flight characteristics probably altered hardly at all, but visually the new Max model has got a lot of appeal.
When you talk about visually, I mean, visibility out of this must be just like a helicopter.
Yeah, that's fantastic. About the only thing you have to do, and you can see they've added, these are common aftermarket items to keep the sun off your head a little bit. I think this one comes from a warm climate, so if you've got the sun on you a lot, it can get a little warm, but my goodness, the view in there is enormous. You can see everything.
Now, what type of control system are they using?
This is a dual joystick controlled airplane, conventional, that is each pilot has a full set of controls in front of them, both rudder and joystick, and uses conventional flaps and conventional ailerons. And conventional is kind of the key word. This airplane flies just like you'd expect an airplane to fly, no surprises.
And the ground handling, how do they handle it?
Ground handling also very conventional. I don't know that I would take it into real rough fields because it's kind of tightly cowled on the tightly wheel canted on the aircraft, and it sits a little low. I'm sure it would be fine in an emergency landing or something like that, but as a rule, this is probably an airport airplane. But they have had some of the best success of any airplane at penetrating the flight school market. I think there are probably more SportStars of the various models flying in flight schools than any other single light sport aircraft.
And ground handling is accomplished as a steerable nose wheel?
Steerable nose wheel through the rudder pedals, very, very conventional. Just kind of get in it and fly it. It is available, the new models are available with differential braking. The early models had handbrake.
Is this also powered by the Rotax line engine then?
Yeah, Dave, like so many of our light sport aircraft out here, Rotax 912, 100 horsepower is what comes standard in this very nice airplane. And that gives it a nice cruise. This isn't the fastest of them, but it'll cruise all day long at 110 knots, which is a very nice speed, about 125 miles an hour. And again, it's really good in a flight school environment where the absolute top speed is not the main criteria. As for its fuel supply, very conventional once again. It's a very nice little tab here that pull up and then you twist. This one's got a locking feature on it as well, so the bad stuff doesn't get introduced into your gas tanks. Fuel tanks on each side. This airplane could probably fly 5 hours without a fuel stop.
And do you have a flight report on this one?
I do have a flight report on the SportStar, and that's available on bydanjohnson.com or bydanjohnson.com.